Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the one and the only Rumboyz Fantasy Network. I am your host, the Admiral Rumboyz Robbie, and today we're reviewing our 2020 Fantasy Football Top 15 Tight Ends. So excited to dive right into this episode. A couple of these guys, we've got an interview, and a couple of these guys we hit real heavy on last year, and we had your back on last year. We're known for getting you guys covered on the tight ends and help you guys lock in secure tight ends. So without further ado, we're going to slide right into it. But first, let's take care of some light housekeeping. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already, as you see the logo to the right of me, to the left of your screen, whatever it may be, but you see the Monkey Knife Fight logo, head over to monkeyknifefight.com, promo code Rumboyz. MLB is back. NFL is right around the corner, which is why we're dropping these rankings right now for you guys one time before the season kicks off, and then we'll be adjusting them throughout the season. But then also, MLB is over here, UFC action. If you're into daily fantasy sports, and I'm sure that you are, being a fan of the Rumboyz Fantasy Network, head over to monkeyknifefight.com, promo code Rumboyz. We're going to match you on your very first deposit all the way up to $50. Holla, holla, holla. But you can deposit whatever you are comfortable with. You deposit 10, we match you with 10. You deposit 20, we match you with 20. Whatever the case may be, but we'll match you all the way up to 50. You might as well put down to 50, maximize your profit, go out there and put down 50. We're going to match you with 50. You get a hundo, turn that hundo into 3 hundo. You dig? You dig. Also want to take this opportunity to give a big shout out to sportsbetmvp.ag. Again, that is sportsbetmvp.ag. Again, they're taking care of you on the crypto side of things, so they got the Bitcoin game on lock. If you sign up for a new account on sportsbetmvp.ag utilizing promo code RUMMVP, again, that is RUMMVP. RUMMVP, okay? Today, using our promo code RUMMVP and get a 125% signing bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. And then also your first $25 bet is risk-free. Alrighty, so get over to sportsbetmvp.ag and start. And really, it's really welcoming to newcomers and even some of the veterans of us out there in the sports gambling world. So get over there to Sportsbet MVP for all your big bets, all of you guys out there in the betting community. Yo, let's dive right off into some rankings. Y'all already know what it is. I'm so excited to talk about these tight ends. We got to start off first with shout out to Sportscaster. Thank you guys. Hold it down on the exclusive. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls. What it do. Dilly. First tight end that we're going to talk about is no other than TJ Hockenson. No other than TJ Hockenson. And a lot of people are like, man, he's always starting off these lists with the Rumboyz rookie. Yes, that picture is from Rumboyz.com. Shout out to the homie J Love, who put together TJ Hockenson scouting profile. 32 receptions last year, 365 yards, 2 TDs, 11.5 was what he averaged, right? Now, a lot of people are like, damn, dude, how is he even gonna top you off at the top 15 right now? Dude, for a rookie, I mean, he made a lot of noise in a couple of games that we saw him. All right, I get that he was injured last year, but the 23-year-old is definitely a strong bet for more work in his second season. And usually second year tight ends, they come fairly cheap, like pretty much in the double-digit rounds. More than likely, you're going to be drafting, your running backs and your receivers, super deep, and then maybe you go get your quarterback, right? Maybe you start off with running back. Maybe you even go running back again. Then you start picking up your receivers. Then you go and you get your quarterback. You're like, oh shit, that big tight end run starts to happen where some of these other guys, some of these middle of the pack guys start to go, and you start just seeing them all kind of come off the board at the same time. This is a guy that you can probably get in the late rounds, dirt cheap. So I mean, I'm I'm big on TJ Hockenson. I get that he like I said, he did miss he did miss some games due to injury last year. What I believe was like the final four, maybe even been a little bit more than that. Because I know he had some tough injuries to deal with to start off the season. Like he was kind of like up and down throughout the year. No, he pretty much gave you, you know, all right like production throughout the whole year. It wasn't until the last four games, really. He played all the way up until the 28th against Chicago, where he had 6 receptions on 11 targets for 18 yards. And then, of course, then that's when the injury takes place. I mean, the Iowa product. I was big on this kid when he got drafted in 2019. The dude looks like he eats fucking sequoia trees for breakfast, to be honest. But you know, nonetheless, I mean, Hawkinson's gotta be a pick. Plus, if I'm correct, like dude's already had the COVID, so you know he's already had the Rona. So hey, you know, that's an easy scratch off. I mean, we don't know if you can catch it twice, but I mean, hell. That's I don't know about you, but I mean that's got to constitute for at least a little bit of something in my eyes. Like I'm definitely looking at guys that have already caught it, and I'm like, cool. Like maybe you don't get it again, and you're fine. You know, once you've already had it, like you know you've had it. So Zeke, you know what I'm saying? So hey, let's see here. Let's get into our next tight end. And this is the very first time out of any of these lists that I have done that a player from this team makes it. That is my Miami Dolphins' own Mike Gesicki. All right. And he gets sicky with the quickie. He came along very well towards the end of last season. I mean, put his full stat line for 2019, 51 receptions, 570 yards, 5 touchdowns, 11.2 average is what he averaged. He's 54.3% rostered. And really quick, I just want to kind of throw something out there in regards to both guys here really quick. I didn't check Hockenson's roster percentage, but I believe like he was like he was fairly low. Like you could have gotten him fairly cheap. But yeah, Gesicki, again, he's a guy that's rostered 54.3% in leagues. Having Devontae Parker and Preston Williams line up, you know, opposites of him is really going to open up the middle of the field for this kid to have even bigger plays because both Devontae Parker and Preston Williams came along on their own, you know, last year. Ryan Fitzpatrick's doing a great job entering the young Tua, and Tua's got some decent reps from what I've been hearing out of camp. So I look forward. I look forward to more Gesicki. I really am. He had a 57.3% catch rate, and he had a few broken tackles, which helped him, you know, get a lot of yards after the catch, which made him, you know, a solid tight end option last year. 2019 was all in all rough for the Dolphins, but that did not prevent Gesicki from moving forward. Let's see here. He finished the season third among tight ends in pass routes and ranked no lower than 12th in targets, receptions, receiving yards, or touchdowns. So he was always ranked at least 12th or higher in one of those categories. Gesicki's 11 end zone targets, tied for most among tight ends and 8th in the entire league. His 58% catch rate, that was ugly, but his role as a seam stretcher, and he had shaky quarterback accuracy. I mean, 22% of the time his quarterbacks were off target. Hopefully that changes with Tua. And then that was really the I think the downside of Gesicki and why a lot of people were like, man, nah, like I'm not rocking with Gesicki. I mean, but let's not forget he was a 2018 second round pick and a second round pick for a reason, nonetheless. Let's see. Gesicki has yet to drop a pass on 120 targets, and he was fantasy tight end 12 last year. which, here on our list this year, we bring him in. Give me just 1 second here. Let me grab a drink out of this mini fridge. But we bring him in at 14 on our list this year, so not too far off from where he actually finished. I think that he's going to take a leap forward when you got a guy like Tua holding it down for you under center. All right, that's just how I feel about Gesicki. Gesicki. Let's talk about Mr. Noah Fant. Noah Fant, another Rumboyz rookie. So we interview both the Iowa boys, Noah Fant and TJ Hockenson, during the NFLPA rookie premiere that Sportscaster sent us on, right? Which is why we're always dropping all of our fantasy football stuff, especially like our rankings, like our more pertinent fantasy football content over on Sportscast. That's how we got there, how we got to meet a lot of these guys. Noah Fant, huge fan of. 40 receptions, 562 yards, 3 TDs, average 14.1, right? He was picked up by Denver in the first round at pick 20. At first, at the beginning of the season, I think that when we look at the film, Noah had a lot of nerves, right? He had it seemed like he was kind of nervous playing. But then he got more comfortable. And which is why he's 80% rostered in leagues. He's 80% rostered in leagues right now. I think the upside of Drew Lock is helping his case, but I do want to make sure that I put out there that Denver did draft Albert O as well, which Drew Lock did have chemistry with at Mizzou. Okay, now that aside. Denver did put him on the field 68% of their offensive snaps. Definitely a hefty number for a rookie, right? I mean, the dude just barely able to drink at 21 years old, and then you're talking about 68% of the time he's going to be on the field. Put on his big boy pants. He did finish at tight end 16. I know that I'm probably buying in on the Drew Lock hype, maybe just a little bit too much. And maybe I might be showing bias by putting him at 13 in here on our list. But honestly, I don't give a damn. These are my rankings. It's definitely a game changer. Pacing 41 qualified tight ends with 8.3 reception. With 8.3 receptions after the catch. I'm sorry. I'm sure I completely fucking read that wrong. But it's just what the hell I have written here. 562 receiving yards, ranked him 6th among rookie tight ends. So that's good. Since the span of 2007. So that's definitely excellent. If his usage declines because of Albert O, I'll take this one on the chin and be like, fuck. Like I kind of knew that could have happened. That could have been a possibility. But I think that this is still going to be one of Drew Lock's top targets. Denver's never really been known to heavily throw to the tight end. Like I can't remember the last time that we were talking about Denver having a top 10 fantasy tight end. Guess what? They had Will Swelker, but that didn't even work out completely well. I mean, I don't know. No, and he was even still like a full on fucking receiver. Like no, so. I don't know how I feel about the tight end situation in Denver, but I like Noah Fant. I think that he's going to eat, and I think that Drew Lock is going to use him. And they drafted another tight end. I think it's probably going to be primarily the blocking guy, which should free up Fant in 2 tight end scheme situations to be the favorite to go and catch the home run ball. Next up. And plus, it was a fucking hilarious interview, man. Like, it was a great interview. Make sure you guys head to rumboyz.com, head to sportscaster.com, check out our interviews. We got a couple of them up on the tube. Let's see here. Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee should probably be up higher on this list. Okay? he really, really, really should probably be up higher on this list. But I didn't. I didn't because Gerald Everett's there, so I worry about that. And you're like, dude, like you just talked about a tight end that like was putting up like 500 yards, like Higbee put up 734, 3 tutties, right, on 69 receptions. Dude, I don't know. I think it's something about Higbee's style of play that I just need to get a little bit more accustomed. So I think the industry consensus was that he's coming into this season, he's about as valuable as a tight end 8. I put him at tight end 12. I just think that there are a couple of guys that might outproduce Higbee. And then also, like I said, I mean, it's really going to be favorable depending on like, is Gerald Everett going to get open or not? Because I think that Everett can take away some from Higbee. He is rostered 92.3% of leagues. So like he's clearly, the evidence is clearly out. Like the jury is clearly out that he is definitely draftable. He's clearly draftable. I should have moved him up higher on my list. For real. Like if you were to tell me that this dude was going to be a tight end 1, like if you were to tell me at the beginning of 2019, like, yo, LA has this dude, the Rams, Sean McVay has this kid by the name of Tyler Higbee. He's going to be your tight end 1 at some point. I'd have been like, psh, why is the bloody rum always gone? Like, I'd be like, you're the reason why the rum is always gone. But he did put up big last year. Probably best viewed as a mid-range tight end 1. Let's see here. He was the top scoring fantasy tight end by 23 points. Let's see here. I just want to make sure. Wow. See, I wrote this like completely out of order. Let's see. Total 86 receptions, 884 yards, and 5 receiving line in 58 games. So the 2016 fourth round pick totaled 86, 884, and 5 receiving line in 58 games through week 12 of last season. He went on to produce a 43, 522 line, 522 and 2 line while averaging 11.4 targets per game the rest of the season. And during that span, he was a top scoring tight end by 23 points. So from 2016 up until like pretty much last year, kind of like a hidden gem, like back a guy it sounded like pretty much no one's really looking at him. Like he wasn't getting the ball a lot, wasn't getting a whole lot of opportunity. But then all of a sudden, 2019 is when Higbee blossoms. Like I said, it really matters with Higbee. Higbee's upside really comes in whether or not Everett is gonna be seeing targets or not, and that's really just the only thing that I worry about there with Higbee. Let's see here. We're going to dive in next to Jared Cook, ladies and gentlemen. Jared Cook of the New Orleans Saints. So the reason why I have Jared Cook so high, right? I am just going to be completely honest. He has Drew freaking Brees as his QB. All right? Like this dude has been in the league since 2009, like since I graduated high school, okay? And I mean never. Never has that was aside from the year previous, like at Oakland, Oakland honestly is what put Jared Cook on the map. People are like, wow, like, oh my gosh, because no one paid attention to him like while he was at Tennessee or St. Louis or like his one season with Green Bay, which he only played like 10 games with Green Bay. I like Jared Cook for the simple fact that, as long as Drew Brees is your quarterback, there's a highly possibility that you're going to eat. 43 receptions, 705 yards, 9 TDs last year. I just for that reason, I gotta kind of I gotta give Cook some props. I had him last year. He is 90% rostered in leagues. That is slightly just I expect slightly gonna go up to a full 99% rostered. But yeah, he during his first 8 NFL seasons, the dude was not fantasy relevant for you whatsoever. Like, he was not a fantasy relevant piece. But he gave you a pair of top 7 finishes, both of them with different teams. Like I said, Oakland and then New Orleans, and that's what really put him on the map. He missed a pair of games last season, but still managed to end as tight end 7, right? He had and that really is an attribution to the 9 touchdowns. His 11 end zone targets, tied for most among tight ends and 8th in the league. It's definitely elite efficiency. He's 33 years old, but once again, you got Drew Brees as your front quarterback, so I'm really not bugging. Like, I'm really not bugging. Definitely borderline top 10 fantasy option. Let's roll in here next, ladies and gentlemen. Austin Hooper. I feel like I'm the only one that's really high on Austin Hooper. We put Jared Cook back at 11, and I bring Austin Hooper up here at 10. Cleveland paid him for a reason, brought him in for a reason. Is he going to see the same amount of targets that he saw with Matt Ryan? No. But Baker likes to throw to the tight end. Cleveland likes to open up to the tight end, so they can go to OBJ and go to Jarvis. I really like this, like him going to Cleveland. Does it hurt him? Yeah, that's why I moved him from probably where, if he was still in Atlanta, we'd be talking about maybe possible tight end 6, possible tight end 7. But we're gonna bring him down to 10. Just because he's not gonna see 96 targets on 75 catches a game. Like, I just don't see this. I just don't see them feeding him the ball 96 times. Atlanta also was playing for the back line last year, so completely different team, different year. But I mean, yeah, I think that's really only place that is his fantasy stock takes an option, or takes a dive, is moving to Baker Mayfield from Matt Ryan. I mean, you're going to the system where it's like they still got David Njoku there, bro. But we'll see. Maybe they open it up into a 2 tight end spread system. Definitely borderline top 10 option for you, and I'm putting him right there at 10. Let's talk about tight end 9 right here. And this man has not played in fucking forever, but I am sold on the hype. Like, I am purely just doing this because I'm sold on the fucking hype. Like, the fact that this man has had time to rest, and no, I'm talking about no other than Gronky Kong. The fact that Gronky Kong has had time to rest, I think that he can maybe put together a good stat line for you. I would definitely, if I'm drafting Gronk, I'm probably benching one of the other Tampa tight ends, Cameron Brate, OJ Howard, if you can catch. But I think that Gronk and Brady, they're gonna connect. They're gonna get it together. It's gonna be a solid connection, a solid thing. I think the rest helps Gronk. Gronky need rest. Gronky take rest and then come back and play with Brady in New Tampa Bay. He's 95.8% rostered in all leagues at this point. It just goes to show there's only a couple of leagues and a couple of dumbasses out there that are completely just out on Gronk, right? I'm not expecting to see, similarities to 2018 Gronk. But I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm just sold on the hype, bro. Like, this is Rob Gronkowski. Like, we're probably talking about if he never takes a break, and if he like if he could go back to full health, like before all the injuries, like if he could go back to how he was before all of the injuries, we're talking about top 3 possible. Like, if I'm Mark Andrews and Zach Ertz, I'm looking like, oh shit, this man's back in the league. Like, this dude is a baller. All right. So I'm putting Gronk at 9, just out of respect for everything that he's ever done. Bruce Arians saying that he looks like he was 5 or 6 years ago. So apparently the back surgeries have healed after the year of healing. I'm just gushing over the fantasy upside if Gronk can stay healthy. This is really dependent on if Gronk can stay healthy, and that's all that I have for that take. Really, it's just we shouldn't be spending forever to talk about how great Gronk is. Gronk, I want to party with you, bro. This guy here, Evan Engram. Evan Engram lands himself at the 8th spot on the Rumboyz 2020 Top 15 tight end fantasy football rankings. 1 second. Due to the fact that, bro, you cannot stay healthy. Like, you cannot stay healthy. And that's going to be a problem with another tight end that we're going to mention later in this series, later in this special. The talent is definitely there with Engram. But I still worry that between the receiving core and Daniel Jones, like, none of them have all got acclimated together for like a full season. Somebody's always hurt. Somebody's always injured. This team is always taking hits one way or another. They're always taking lumps. 44 receptions, 467 yards last year, 3 TDs, 10.6 average. It's good yards that you're averaging, per your catch. But I mean, you're entering your 4th NFL season. Having missed 14 of 48 possible games, and with tight ends, and this guy being at 25, the injuries I don't really see the injuries kind of slowing down, really, to be honest. The rate at which Evan Engram is starting to go down, it's reminding me a lot of my own football team when Jordan Reed started going down. We always would rank Reed high, like, yeah, this will be the year this year, and then it started, the concussions, and then the knees, and then boom, 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 boom. Being the big guy that has to cut across the middle, your body is constantly on the line. I am fading Evan Engram. Let me just put this like since he's been in the league, I have never owned him on a roster. So I've never personally been burned by him, but I know the frustrations of league mates that have been burned by Evan Engram. And because of that, because of seeing, a lot of the personal fantasy football heartache that a lot of league mates have gone through, and then also just look, you got the injury history and the injury and the durability concerns. I gotta move Evan Engram down to 8. Definitely could be he's still a top ten talent. And if healthy, could very well end in that he could probably end as a 6, maybe even a 5. He could test for a 5, depending on how a couple of these other guys we're going to talk about fall. But that's how that's really how I feel about Evan Engram. I'm not going to cast too much hate on him. Hopefully the homie bounces back and he can get back to good health. Let's talk about Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst leaves Baltimore, goes to Atlanta. He has had plenty of time in the league, has adjusted to the speed of the game, being that he's been in the league since 2018. He was drafted in 2018 as a first-round pick by Baltimore, right? And I get that the 30 receptions, 349 yards, and 2 TDs is nothing that people are like what? Like, why are you moving him up so high? But that's because there just became 95 fucking targets in Atlanta that got vacated by Austin Hooper, and someone has to take those over. So who better than the guy that you just brought in, and you're about to pay buku dollar to get the job done? So I think he's in line for a big fantasy season, to be honest. And for him to only be 70% roster at this point, about 71% roster at this point, and honestly, that's really gone up. Like, that percentage has really gone up by 5% over the last 7 days. So now he's starting to become a lot popular. He's going to be an every down tight end. I don't care about his stat line. His stat line was pretty much swayed last year because fucking they had Andrews, Hurst himself, and then Boyle, Doyle, whatever, right? So he's not dealing with the tight end room that talented and that heavy right now. But and like I said, those 95 targets are vacated. I think that he's gonna get out there. He's yet to eclipse a 58 snap share in 30 career games, but I think that could definitely change. Hooper went back to back for tight end 1 campaigns. Hurst, this is definitely your breakout year. Like, I think that this is Hayden Hurst's breakout year. Maybe I'm high on Hayden Hurst. I don't know, but I'll be that. Fuck yeah, Hayden Hurst. Hope that you blow up this year, man. I'm on your side, bro. Hey, you're just in an ATL like system, bro. New Jersey, new home. You gonna ball, bro. You gonna ball. Alrighty, let's get in here to, I like to call them the Carson Chargers, but the Los Angeles Chargers' very own Hunter Henry. So Hunter Henry, 55 receptions, 652 yards, 5 TDs. Now, Henry has a kind of a similar injury bug story to one Evan Engram that I talked about. But I put, and I know that there's going to be somebody, how is this man, Robbie J, going to put Hunter Henry above Evan Engram? They should probably be right there next to each other. But I just think that Henry is a little bit of the more raw talent. I had Henry when he had his first really big like boom season, and I've kind of just always been a fan since. I just hope that he gets back to where he was. He's 90.8% rostered in leagues. He's back with the Chargers after the team applied a franchise tag during the offseason. He's the team's 2016 second-round pick. He's yet to play a full 16 games during the season. He missed all of 2018 and a total of 7 games the other 3 seasons. That includes 4 in 2019. All right. Though Henry was productive enough went active to produce his first top 10 fantasy campaign. Henry has finished top 10 in yards per target in all three of his NFL seasons, and has been a force near the goal line with 17 touchdowns, 25 end zone targets in 41 games. Henry's durability woes and departure of Phil Rivers are concerns, but the 25-year-old will still be back in tight end one option whenever he is active. Of course, I'm not expecting the injury bug to slow down. But this kid's a grinder, okay, and he gets out there and tries to play through a lot. He tries to be out there as often as he can. He's a guy that you're gonna if you're drafting Hunter Henry, if I end up with Hunter Henry, I am definitely looking for a week-to-week filler at tight end to maybe sub in at that spot at some given moment. Like if I'm ending up with Hunter Henry, I'm like, yo, Eric Ebron, like, can you fill in for a game possibly for me? Jonnu Smith, what it do? Jonnu, probably a guy who could have made this, let's be honest, still, But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a couple of other guys out there, maybe on the cheaper end, that might be able to stay a little bit more healthy, get the job done for me. Maybe you just altogether you fade a Hunter Henry or an Evan Engram altogether just because of the injury woes. That's what I am going to be doing. That's what I've been doing in leagues. I think there's one league that I do have Hunter Henry in, and it just ended up that way, right? Let's get into our next tight end here, and that's going to be – we're going to take it out to the desert, out to the Death Star, the Las Vegas Raiders. Darren Waller, 90 receptions, 1,145 yards, 3 TDs. Woo, fucking PPR machine. Like, Darren Waller, like, what is there to not love, right? Like, what is there to not to love about Darren Waller? He balled out. He's going to be rostered everywhere. The stat line really is the take. Like, when you hear 1,145 yards compared to everyone else that I just sat back and read off, like, I'm pretty sure that's a dynamic changer. That's a game changer right there. So yeah, Darren Waller he's that guy. He's gonna be that guy in Oakland for a long time. Who's next in line? Jason Witten. Like, I mean, come on, clear tight end one. He's definitely Derek Carr's favorite target. He's probably going to end as a like he'll where we have him ranked right now will probably be at best where he finishes at the end of the year. Like, this dude will still be a tight end one at the end of the year, as long as all's well with health and everything. Let's see here. We're gonna dive right into number 4 here, and that is no other than Zach Ertz. 88 receptions, 916 yards, 6 TDs. A lot of people are like, oh, well, Dallas Goedert's kind of emerging, and I really like Goedert. Dude, don't ever disrespect Ertz in that manner. And I couldn't, like, I saw a lot of analysts kind of like dropping Ertz to, swapping Waller for Ertz. I can't see Ertz not ever in anyone's rankings ever being a top 5 tight end. I'm not worried still about a Dallas Goedert, time at all period type situation. Like, yeah, if I have Ertz, I'm grabbing Goedert. That's the safest and easiest handcuff situation, and honestly, the most no-brainer handcuff situation. Because both guys are going to eat. Both guys are going to get you points. Last year really was a lot of the worry of, do I start Goedert this week or do I start Ertz this week? If you had both. But I get that he's 29 years old, but he's still going to be Carson Wentz's top target. Fucking Zach Ertz. Like, Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Alrighty, and let's get into the Rumboyz cover athlete for our tight end special. Oh shit. See, I did that again with Zach Ertz. See, I did that again. The same thing I did with Kenny Golladay where I didn't get his slide up. I did it this time with Zach Ertz. Like I was saying with Zach Ertz. Yo, homie, you're still gonna be Carson Wentz's favorite target. You're gonna ball out. It's gonna be fine. I'm not worried. Are you worried? I'm not worried. So yeah, and with Ertz, I just feel like I could get away with drafting Dallas Goedert as well, and that kind of saving my ass if Ertz goes down, or I can just kind of maybe look at matchups and maybe see and analyze like who I would want to play, who I would want to favor, in terms of Ertz. Alrighty, here, just give me 1 second, y'all. Alrighty, so now we're gonna get into our cover athlete, our 2020 fantasy football tight end cover athlete, and that is Mark Andrews. He's been the cover athlete for today's special. As you guys see, look, he should be rostered everywhere. He's gonna be rostered everywhere. In all your leagues. I had Mark Andrews last year. He won me fantasy championships. I have no hate in my heart in regards to Mark Andrews. I have nothing but love. There being no hate in hers there any longer. It's only going to make it just that much better for Mark Andrews. I mean, and like I said, I mean, what's not to love about a guy that has freaking Lamar Jackson as his quarterback. When you got Lamar Jackson as your quarterback, I think that definitely that's something that definitely helps you in your favor. 64 receptions, 852 yards, 10 TDs last year. Like we're not seeing guys getting the double digits of the touchdown section that often on this list, right? I think we've only mentioned like one or two. Gotta love Mark Andrews. Led all tight ends with 10 touchdowns last season. And he did it while playing a mere 41% of the team's offensive snaps. Like, you gotta love it. He's going to be a top finish this year. Another thing that I want to point out as well, he did handle a massive 25% of target share for Baltimore, a league best offensive route to his tight end 5 fantasy campaign. And like I said, I mean, targeted 11 times in the end zone, made it a lot easier to get those 10 touchdowns. But one of the things I want to point out is Mark Andrews was a player that week in and week out always had like a questionable designation by his name, but you knew that somehow by the grace of the fantasy gods that he was going to get out there and he was going to play and he was going to ball out for you. If you guys remember, big shout out to Stepmom Lauren. Stepmom Lauren, she had featured with the Rumboyz on a handful of episodes, and we talked about Mark Andrews really being a guy that was going to be a league winner for you guys, that was going to go out there and win you championships. I bought into it, and it worked out, and it worked out beautifully. And I just think that's going to be someone that's going to continue to work out for you guys, is Mark Andrews. And what's great about Mark Andrews is once you see Kelce and Kittle go off the board, like, he's pretty much there. He's gonna be yours for the take. Like, there's gonna be like a little soft spot where people are like, oh no, like I'm not gonna start the tight end run right now. And then he may like last an extra round, and then you can get him in that next round. I've seen it happen. It's happened, But I think he's a guy that you can go for unless you're in a really eager league where they need, or like you're in a tight end premium league. He's gonna be one of the first guys off the board, so you're fucked. But hey, it is what it is. All is fair and love in fantasy football. All righty, we're just about at the end of the list, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, here it is, George Kittle. This pretty much speaks for itself. Like our final three here, Titans 1, 2, and 3 are going to be all on par with consensus, with industry consensus, right? Um, Mark Andrews definitely a tight end 3. George Kittle, woo! Definitely tight end 2, 85 receptions, 1,053 yards, 5 TDs. Helped us team to a Super Bowl last year. Jimmy G's favorite freaking weapon. There's really not a whole lot else to say. Hopefully Debo is healthy to help open up a lot more opportunity for Kittle. But yeah, like this is George Kittle, guys. I mean, and when we talk about this guy all the time on Rumboyz After Dark, uh, it speaks for itself. Like, to be honest, I mean, when you get a tight end that's going to get you 1,000 yards, you're pretty safe. I had Kittle in a few leagues. We won some great things together. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, our tight end 1 of the list. No other than Travis Kelce, the team that won the Super Bowl. 97 receptions, 1,229 yards, 5 TDs. You gotta love it. You gotta respect it. Travis Kelce's a baller. Like, the boy is cold. He's got swagger. He's got a lot of moxie. He's got that attitude. Rightfully so, though, the first tight end to go off the board. He's going to get you points. I usually don't end up in a draft position to where I can end up with him on my lineup. But if I end up with Kelce on my lineup, I'm happier than a pig in shit. But I'm also worrying because I probably sacrificed some other options like running backs and so on and so forth to go and get them. So, when you're talking about going to get, Kittle or Kelce, there's going to be some sacrifice involved with going to reach for those guys. But that's the beauty of fantasy football. It's your team. You design it how you want to. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been our 2020 fantasy football top 15 tight ends. Make sure that you guys head over to rumboyz.com if you have not already. I'm gonna be dropping the full list over there. I'll have all of our lists, all of our rankings, dropping over on rumboyz.com for you guys, so that you go and check it out and see the full rankings, see all of my full rankings of how I ranked each position and each player. We'll be having our summit come out soon, where we'll just get all of these into consensus instead of probably doing position by position summit. We're probably just going to do a giant consensus summit. Yeah, make sure that you guys tune in to Rumboyz After Dark each and every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Say Mountain Time because I live here in Colorado. Be on lookout for the Rum Report. Be on lookout for the Rum Report. We'll be talking we'll be talking more on Rum Report, more fantasy football, more betting action on all of your favorite sports, everything from UFC, MLB, NBA, all of that good stuff. We have all the hottest topics over there on the Rum Report between me and the homie Jake the Great. Make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on sportscaster.com and download the Sportscaster app on all Apple devices. Other than that, it's time to gear up and get ready for the Lakers game, because I'll be calling that. We got game 4 tonight, and then that's how we're doing things over here. We just keeping the ball moving. We're just gonna keep grinding, keep working. But, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know how it goes. Let's see here. Let me pour something up first off. Let me end this the right way. Cheers out the right way. I'll do a little something because I'm about to call the game. Everybody, cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the rum boys and girls, what it do. Dilly. Somebody, play my motherfucking outro. Yeah.